Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite guitar players and one of the biggest influences on me when I was getting my playing together in the 80s, and that is Vinnie Moore. The first time Vinnie came in my radar was in the Guitar Player magazine Spotlight column, and when I read his influences I knew he'd be a player that I would like. The first time I actually heard Vinnie was on the Soldiers of the Night album by Vicious Rumors. This came out in 1985. Some of the songs on here, they're really cool. I really like Premonition. That's a really cool kind of instrumental. Great solos in Soldiers of the Night. Murder, March or Die has great solos. Blitz a World, just a great up-tempo metal song. Invader's a really cool unaccompanied guitar solo. If you're a fan of early 80s metal, I really recommend checking out this album. It's just chock full of amazing guitar playing. At the time I was really into Yngwie Malmsteen, so when I heard Vinnie picking, it was right up my alley. And the thing was that Vinnie's picking was more like Al Di Meola than it was Yngwie Malmsteen. And that run there is really cool, and what he's doing is he's taking like some 3-note per string scales, but he's kind of mixing in two positions. So he's playing like this position of C major, and then he goes into the one below it, so you get doubled notes. And then he just goes like 6 notes straight up and repeats them across the strings. He also did some licks on there that were very similar to Al Di Meola, and then what Paul Gilbert would be doing on his soon-to-be-released Street Lethal album with Razor X. And the lick that I heard on that album was this. You play 7, 8, 10 on the second string, and then 7 on the first, then go back and hit 10, 8. So it's kind of, a lot of people refer this as the Paul Gilbert lick, but I actually heard it first from Al Di Meola, and then Vinnie did it all over his album. That run there is on Blitz the World off the Soldiers of the Night album by Vicious Rumors, and it's kind of cool. He takes like a pentatonic style lick, a pattern that like Jimmy Page or Randy Rhoads would play, and he actually plays it with the harmonic minor scale. I always thought that was really cool. I was into Randy Rhoads, so I could kind of do that pattern, and then when I heard that, I kind of had that one pretty easy. The next time I heard Vinnie was in this Guitar Player magazine issue, and it was his first national exposure, I believe, was this Ibanez ad here, which I think is really cool. He's like set up ready to pick fast, if you look at his arm there. But they had these little flexi discs in there, and this one had Daydream on it from the upcoming album Mind's Eye. And these flexi discs were cool. They had like Yngwie Black Star, and they had some Greg Howe. Tony Macalpine had one called Birds of Prey. They were really cool. The flexi disc, I couldn't wait to go home and play it and see what was on it. Alan Holdsworth was on some. But I just was blown away when I put it on. I couldn't believe it. I was in Yngwie at the time, and when I heard Daydream, it was right up my alley. And his picking was so clean and flawless that I couldn't wait to get Mind's Eye. Another thing cool about this issue of Guitar Player is it has a David T. Chastain article in it. I was really into David T. Chastain also, and it was really cool to read something about him. I think that was his first Guitar Player article other than the Spotlight column. So I'd look in the store every day to look for Mind's Eye, and then one day there it was. So I bought it, and I bought it on cassette and album actually. And the songs on In Control, Daydream, Saved by a Miracle were all amazing. I thought the cover was cool. Vinnie had the look. I mean, it was just an amazing period for guitar playing, and Vinnie was definitely one of those players that really made it special. The song Saved by a Miracle was really cool in that it had this acoustic intro that was awesome, and it kind of reminded me of Al Di Meola. In fact, some of the licks sounded similar to what I was hearing Al do on the 70s albums. So a lick like that was cool. It was a 3-note pattern that he repeated twice. In this case, in the key of A harmonic minor, it'd be 13, 12, 10. Then he would move it down 3 positions of the scale, doing sextuplets. Then he'd go up 1 position and just go down 3 more. And I really love that lick. You could do it in E minor. When Vinnie would pick, he'd use more of his elbow, which is really cool because that's kind of how I favored picking also. And I saw him in a clinic in 1987. He was just full elbow, kind of inspired me to pursue that with my picking also. I was really into the Mind's Eye album, and I was a huge fan of Vinnie, and I got this issue of Guitar World, and this was the first real article that I read on Vinnie. This is from the July 1987 issue. They called him Young Thunder, and it's got some cool pictures of Vinnie in there, if you can see that. He talks about the equipment he used on this album, and he used an Ibanez Super Metal pedal going through Tony Macalpine's PV VTX Classic Series 65-watt head through a PV4x12 cabinet. And it just got a really cool sound. I really like it. It was warm, and you could really hear the articulation in his notes. Looking at the songs on the album, In Control was cool. It had that harmonic minor kind of thing. I really liked that one. It had some really great picking things. Daydream was just an amazing song. I used to listen to it constantly. I still love it to this day, and the solo in it was just brilliant. Saved by a Miracle, we talked about it, had that really cool acoustic intro going into kind of a progressive song with a really cool drum solo from Tommy Aldridge. Hero Without Honor was definitely a proggy kind of song. It had like a bunch of different movements and sections to it. Life Force had a really cool triplet feel, and he did a little tip of the hat to Di Meola with the muting in that song in the second solo. And then Y was a cool song. He had a really cool pedal tone section in the middle with really nice bends. Mind's Eye was one of my favorite tracks on the album. It has one of my favorite solos of all time. He did some more like harmonic minor pedal tones in it. Shadows of Yesterday was just a really cool mid-tempo song with a great melody and a lot of feeling. The solos were just amazing in that song. And then the album ended with The Journey, which was kind of a very slow ballady kind of song that had just some amazing legato soloing from Vinnie, kind of his tip of the hat to Holdsworth in that one. So the album had immediate impact among guitarists everywhere. He actually won Best New Talent in Guitar Player magazine that year in 1987, I believe it was, and he also won Metal God in Waiting from Guitar for the Practicing Musician, which he was on the cover and had a really cool article in it. And there's the Tony Macalpine ad. It was just a wonderful time to be a guitar player. I was into all the neoclassical players, and it was just a really exciting time to live through, and I have so many great memories of that era. it's been a lot of fun going over this Vinnie Moore retrospective with you all. He was just an amazing player, still is, still putting out great music. Went a little bluesier direction, but still just an amazing player. If you haven't heard mine, I really recommend going out and getting it and trying to learn some of those licks that really raise your playing up several bars. But thank you so much for watching this, and if you like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll do more. And have fun picking.